Zoom in. Hold there.
I think they are sponge stocks. That would be my first guess, but not positive.
Yeah, think so. Okay, that was Chris Kelly. And these talus piles and slopes of sediment are pretty dynamic. So it's possible that because these scarps, the scarp we're approaching today is fault controlled, there may be seismicity here, earthquakes in other words, and when that happens, material slides down the slope, gets dislodged, jiggled around, and we get a sudden influx of the loose material that can perhaps overwhelm some of these animals.
Yeah, we're getting steeper now. We're going to start seeing the end of the
Yeah,
sediment.
we're getting very steep here as we rise up this talus slope that is covered heavily with sediment.
Floaty on the right.
Okay, everybody. Hi.
Shirley's
I'm back. I'm back. I just
Shirley's back.
Shirley's back. I had a live interaction with the summer interns at Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, and they are participating tonight from our Exploration Command Center.
This is a tiny holothurian.
He's also pretty far off. I think that's it's pretty far away.
Pretty far away.
Yeah.
And our laser beams suggest it's maybe
Nice stability.
5.
Go ahead and zoom in. Hold. Can kill lasers quickly.
Not sure.
Thanks.
Lovely pale violet holothurian
Pulling.
with some sediment
Not a
in
whole
the
lot of time.
lower
Little bit.
part of its digestive tract.
See what you do.
Pulling.
Okay. Yeah, let's let him go. I'm gonna come back port. Got this little rock face here.
Chris Kelly suggests it's, see if I can pronounce this, Neastes.
perfect.
All right.
That was perfect.
I'm learning. Oh, nice outcrop.
Oh, lasers back on. Sure. Thank you, co-pilot, for that.
So those sea cucumbers, I think it is in the family Pelagotheridae. They're the members of that family spend most of the time in the water column, if I'm not correct, and they have some adaptations for being up above the bottom rather than being on the bottom. The most notable of which was that very extensive velum, or that sort of flap that's surrounding the top of that holothuroidean, which he's swimming by. So, you know, it's sort of a clue that he's doing a lot in the water column and only occasionally coming down, I guess.
Very small white sponge topping lasers.
As we move to the right here, we can take a look at this very small outcrop that's less than a meter high. What you can see in it is layered material and also some rock masses. And this is probably just partially indurated talus that's formed at the base of the scarp. So we're not seeing things that are in place yet. But we do see a shrimp
You're off to my
in
starboard.
the middle of the left-hand side of the screen.
We'll push this way. Just kind of wanted to see that little lip.
So these layers that we're looking at make up a fan of debris that sits at the base of the slope and is a collection of material that has fallen off the slope over time. If you're out in the desert in the western part of the U.S., you can see these at the base of the mountains as big fans of debris that form generally at the mouth of a stream that may be coming down the face of the mountain as the stream water distributes sediment and rocks that it erodes from the side of the mountain face.
Possible percentage.
And these provide great anchors for
Eddie, this
animals.
is Bob. Those layers look pretty indurated.
They do. That's true. I think this talus pile is pretty old, but it looks like we're going to zoom on some animals on this rock. Are we going to zoom here?
We sure are.
All right.
So what does that word mean, Bob?
Oh, you're playing good. You're
Indurated.
like 35
Yeah,
degrees.
Bob, tell us.
Indurated means...
Yeah, you're happy. As soon as you feel yourself start to stop
indurated
moving,
means
you call in another
the
move,
rocks
30 meters.
are cemented together well. So friable and indurated are opposites. Friable means the manipulator jaws crushes them before it gets in the sample box. Indurated means that it doesn't.
Saw it on sonar even.
And it also means it's hard to get a sample
Yeah, why
from
don't we?
the outside.
Let's do 340 and follow high pack.
Boy,
until we
that's
get a
the
good
truth.
sonar return.
We found that
Sounds good
out
to me.
yesterday. The
Ready
two
for
samples, by the way, for
Oh,
the
sorry, I just
scientist on
picked up a little
shore.
bit of dust when I touched.
If you haven't read fully through the dive description, both of the rocks that we picked
Garbage.
up
All right, go ahead.
were a medium brown,
Before we lose it.
partially, and I mean only very partially, indurated sedimentary rock.
This is your third favorite animal.
This is a
Okay.
crinoid in
Sorry,
the prop
science. I
wash.
just picked up a bunch of sediment here.
Yeah, we're getting a little sediment kicked up as the ROV settles down to get it in good position to see this. So that's the cloud you're seeing. It's just fine sediment
I
kicked
just
up
touched
by
my
the
toe in the
propellers.
ground and it all
Yeah.
came coming up, and we're kind of camera's downwind of the
Right.
toe that I touched.
Right. They try to position themselves so
Right.
that they can see what it is that we
Some
want to
hairline
see, but that
structures
isn't
But
always
we have a bit of
the best position to avoid getting the
Pilot
sediment.
said we did have a current
Yeah.
on the slope.
Yeah,
that's
it's
moving
definitely
across.
it's moving pretty hard.
So
From
we've got a
left to right.
West to
colorized
east.
sponge next to it. That's that white stock, I'm pretty sure.
You want me to look at the stock here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
It's
think
big.
there's
It's big,
anything
isn't it,
at
Chris?
the tip of it,
the tip
though.
of it's touching the box right now. If you look in the port manipulator camera.
Oh my gosh, it's really big.
This looks like one that we collected off of Hawaii last year that's got a groove where the spicules come out of this groove on one side and
There
the
we
other
go.
side. Well, now I'm seeing spicules on both sides,
Yeah.
so maybe that's wrong on
Really
this one.
feathery.
Let's go
Yeah,
ahead
it's
and do it.
very
Yeah,
feathery.
let's go and
Does
do it.
have spicules on both sides. But you can see how strong the current is by how curved this is.
So, Chris, refresh my memory with these feathery projections. Are they tracks of individual spicules and also cellular material? I think that's what they are, but refresh my memory.
Boy, I have no idea, Shirley. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this sponge would not be producing spicules that are that long, so not individual spicules. So for them to be, it would have to be, I think, spicule tracks with either in fibers,
I'm lined
although I'm
up
not
on
sure they're
340.
fibers, and cellular material. Boy, it will be really interesting to do some histology on some of these samples that have been collected. Really long. This is a
You got a
fairly
minute.
long,
It'll take us a couple minutes to swing, and I got you
long
at 42.
cauterized
Well,
sponge.
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's just starting to steepen up.
What is this
Go ahead and zoom in. Partial.
long thing on the
Yeah,
seafloor?
my sonar, I got
Oh
visual
my.
out 40 meters, so.
Cool. Okay.
Is that a sponge stalk? Is this one still
Boy,
alive?
I don't know.
Looks like it, huh?
I do not know.
It's
That's
covered with
sediment.
spicules.
Oh, you know what? This is
What?
now you can see. You know what I think this might be, Chris? I think this might be the stalk of a hexactinellid sponge, just the
It
way
just
those spicules
died.
are.
And so it's swept back and forth across the
I would
sediment
agree,
there.
Shirley.
Just by the nature of those spicules, they're long and they're relatively thick, kind of twisted around, almost like kind of a
Like a rope.
cable.
Yep.
Yeah, like cables.
Yeah, let's come out.
So this is one that has lost that top portion, the
ball on the
the
top?
ball on the top, or the tulip-shaped structure, or the cylinder on the top, and all that's left is the spicule stalk.
Man, I can't wait till we get to the wall
Yeah, me
where
too.
there will be
actually.
hard surfaces.
Oh my gosh, we better beat feet.
We better move.
We're underway. We're on our way.
So here's another one of these
Not
black
too quick,
corals
though.
that's scouring a little
Take it slow.
circle
Yes,
in the area
indeed.
All right, zoom in.
that Scott was talking about.
It's doing a donut.
Yeah, Scott was saying
That's kinda
earlier
cool.
that some of these may, in fact, be getting their
more
nutrition from whatever is in the sediment surrounding them, and that may be why they're leaning over and creating this little bathtub ring for themselves.
I got you off to my starboard.
Okay.
Although I am
I'm pulling you a little bit. Maybe.
either that or the.
You want to zoom out and get the whole circle? Looks like as the current changes, it just sweeps around.
Yeah.
Well,
This is a
kicking out
type
more
of black
sediment.
coral. Yep.
Yeah. Go. I'm going to push over here.
All right, and now onward to the wall.
A little bit of...
I want to see the wall.
Me too. We're almost there.
See it hanging on. There we go. Okay.
Oh, there's another. Looked like it was a holothurian.
And another one of these radiating places where the proboscis of the worm comes out and slaps
getting
itself
close.
on the seafloor and then drags itself in, and then they lick it off.
Okay.
They do. Well,
Probably not a whole lot
they
of tether.
eat it.
Yeah.
Slurp.
So ship is moving. When did we call it in?
Okay, so
09. Okay, so a few more
folks at home,
minutes.
if you're interested, you can take a look at
Why don't you
feed
come up
3, which is the one on the
bit.
far right.
Yeah.
And
Hang out
what
here.
we see in that,
I'll come down and hang
in
out.
the upper right, is the orientation of the ROV, the D2, and the orientation in the upper right. So on the far right of the upper quadrant, you see the orientation of the Sirius vehicle, which is above our D2 and attached to it by a 30-meter cable. And then up in the waves, here's the ship, and we move the ship, which helps pull the Sirius along. It does have props, so it can move itself. It doesn't have real
There's
powerful
a little
props
stock
like the ROV. But in order to move across the seafloor, we have to do this dance of move the ship, move the Sirius, and then the
Zoom in.
ROV will have slack enough to move around.
Hold there.
Looks like
We
it's
have a
tube
stalk.
and it's got its little
We have a
feathery
black thing sticking up off
Maybe
the
a-
rock.
Go ahead and zoom in.
Oh, and you see a couple of pteropods over there in the sediment as well.
Yeah, the little white
kind of triangular. Yeah.
Right. And notice the rock is covered with sediment, so this rock's been here a while
Feather is
and has
very
had sediment
translucent.
dropped on it either from upslope.
There's something. Oh, you can see something from the surface of that.
Is there something at the top of it?
Yeah,
Yes.
you see.
It has tentacles?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So this little worm actually is living.
Yeah.
And you can see the tentacles
blends
moving in this wonderful high-definition video. Now, does it have some little commensal thing at the very top of the
It
stalk? Or
might.
is that
I
a rock
can't-
behind? I think it's
No,
a pebble behind.
I don't know, Patty. I can't. No, it looks like it's actually on the stalk.
Oh, yeah. As the
Yeah.
focus comes down there, it looks like there's something up there. Yeah, it is
Oh, yeah,
moving
there's a
around.
little.
Looks like there's a couple of.
amphipod or
Yeah,
something.
maybe. It looks like there are a couple of somethings up there. Yeah.
Does indeed.
Couple
Crawling
of
around.
what Roland we used to call thingies.
Right. Biological thingies. I call them biogoo.
Oh, it's not really gooey though.
Actually, I
It's
don't
more
call
crunchy.
it that anymore. I'm
No, you
learning an
don't.
awful lot.
You got any more zoom or?
This is fun.
Maximum.
Okay.
For any of you kids out there who might be thinking about doing this in the future, I highly recommend it.
It is fun.
Highly recommend it. You get to dive in submersibles, come out to sea, bounce around on the
Co-pilot,
ocean.
we're moving.
We haven't been
Yeah,
bouncing
I
that
just-
much.
just started
No,
moving.
but sometimes you do.
Yeah,
I
right.
got you at
Those are
31
those are
degrees.
not happy
Yeah.
times for Shirley.
I'm just getting antsy.
Shirley doesn't like bouncing.
Shirley,
widow,
Good for this clip.
But this has
I do
only
have
this has only been a
sonar
one
return
patch
Yeah,
Okay,
mission.
it's been wonderful out here. This time of
Don't
year in the
expect
Mariana
any-
region, it's
too crazy yet.
Let's,
It is a harder return now, though.
more
Yeah,
interested
so, yeah.
in pursuing a career like yours, could you say maybe a couple of sentences of what they
Okay.
I'm sorry.
college or graduate degree?
Right. So yeah, the question from Debbie Blaney, who's calling in from the University of Hawaii Exploration Command Center, but who is
Small
from
tube
NOAA's
and
Office of
rock
Ocean
tube.
Exploration and Research in Silver Spring, asked us to talk a little bit more about if someone is interested in pursuing a career in marine science, what would they need to do?
All right. Sure.
Okay.
Well,
Yep. Go ahead. Patty.
generally, for geology, what one needs to be able to understand is a variety of the basic sciences. So in high school, physics, chemistry.
Go ahead,
In college, an introductory geology
just
class, and the
Spiderwebs.
associated upper
zoom out.
division courses. What we have here on the ship are some people who have bachelor's degrees, some people with master's degrees out here working.
Some people with
with the-
associate's degrees.
Yes,
Yeah.
some people
Let's
working
range the
in
sonar
association
on
with the
D2
remotely
a little more.
operated vehicle, the navigation, Our captain actually has a
Species right
PhD
next to
in
lasers.
marine science.
Right.
In
So the
physical
thing
marine
is that you
science.
don't really necessarily need a PhD.
Correct.
To actually participate in these missions.
Perfect,
So
thank
there
you.
are many different roles that that we have out here on the ship. That
zoom in.
and in fact, some of our videographers have degrees in science, but then they're using that background in science and
Ooh.
sometimes marine science.
Shirley, what is
Oh
this?
wow!
We
Is
have to
this
talk
one
about
of
that critters.
those? Is it? It's not.
There are
Is
two
it a
things.
Is it a xenophyophore or is
I
it a
think-
bryozoan?
Do we have two
I think
animals
it might be a
here?
bryozoan. It might be a bryozoan.
Okay.
This is a hexactinella.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I think that's a joke.
Oh heck, no, he's right. I think he's
Oh, my
right. I
goodness,
think he's
thought
right.
It was a joke.
No, I think he's right.
Oh my goodness.
How can I question Chris? He's our hexactinella expert.
Okay.
You think so, Chris? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's in the family Urididae or possibly Fariidae, and
Maybe.
you can see the Dictyonal
Cool.
framework. That is the framework with the little holes in it, right in the texture there, fairly thin matrix there. So I think it's one of those.
Okay,
That was cool.
it was very cool.
Now look how much sediment is draping these rocks. We're getting close to steepness. And you can see, folks, look at
Keep an eye
the
on your
center
swing.
view, the middle feed down below the
Let me
video
know. I'm gonna
image.
keep things
And click
moving
on
as
that and you'll see
much
the
as possible.
ROV as it
Can't see,
moves
so-
up this
Yeah,
slope.
sounds good. The ship stops.
You
so
can
if I
get a
gotta
sense
settle out,
for the
and then,
surrounding terrain
Starting to get a little,
as you're
little harder
looking
on
from the
returns.
Sirius
Yeah, very much
vehicle
so.
down onto the seafloor and the D2 ROV.
coming up a little
So to
bit.
continue that discussion about how to pursue a career in marine science.
There's a stock
Wait a minute, Roland's asking us to do something. Hold on.
sponge and a possible coral.
Here we go.
Okay,
On the
we'll
rocks,
talk about
we've
that
got
later,
critters.
folks. This looks like it might be another bamboo coral.
That'd be cool. But, basically, for anybody who's listening, the thing you really need in order to pursue some field like this is just curiosity. Every little
Is it?
2-year-old is a natural-born scientist. Why, Mom?
Okay, that's your cue, Scott.
Do-do-do-do. Ladies and gents, Scott will bring us the news.
Scott might be making dinner right
Oh,
now.
Scott.
Okay, so
seems
this
to be
looks like
out.
another bamboo coral. Looks similar to the one we saw
Yeah,
earlier.
it does.
It's an octocoral. You can see on those polyps it
Sorry,
has.
Very
Oh,
sharp
is that
right
Scott?
there, if you can hold that one.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, I was just trying to exercise in the elliptical, but happy to come anytime I see a bamboo coral. I'm trying to see, so I think this is a different one. There's a beautiful view I see now, looking into a
Oh,
polyp where you can
right.
clearly see these needle-like sclerites sticking between the base of each of the tentacles. And Chris Kelly had pointed
Yep.
out that the last one didn't
yeah, nice
have
hard
those.
return.
So
Pilot.
this
Okay,
is definitely a different species. And we'll put it in the genus Lepidisis for now, but
And ship is
who
stopped,
knows?
right?
Yeah.
Definitely a bamboo
And
coral.
so you're
Beautiful.
just slowing down into position.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, Scott.
Pulling for full
About 30
specimen.
meters out, so
So for anybody
Looking
who,
good.
like me, is first learning about octocorals, the reason
Lasers,
they're
are
called
they on? Yeah.
octocorals is because they have 8 tentacles.
Okay, the
On
upper
their
left
polyps,
one,
yep.
pull
On
out,
their
I think
And
polyps.
you got a very good
polyp.
view of that earlier when
I'm
we
gonna go for
zoomed
the
in.
sponge on
The
the left.
sclerites
Uh,
are those little white features that are
They're like
kind of
micro-
pointy and
Right.
sticking up between the tentacles.
Right, they're microscopic skeletal elements. They're made out of calcium carbonate. So just like sponges have spicules and holothurians, well, the spicules are siliceous,
Want me to
and
move or wait for you to look up?
holothurians have
I got you
ossicles.
at
Actually,
50 right now.
a lot of
Right.
the
Or
echinoderms
What
do.
time did the move end? The last one.
The
At least 5
octocorals
minutes ago.
have these sclerites.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Let's get a 20-meter move in. 0.2.
Oh, looks like we have a lot
Yeah,
of
That's a
sponge
3,
stalks on this
4.
slope that are similar to features we've
So
seen
like
a little bit
Like
earlier,
a 330.
but
Yeah,
no
right?
sponge on top.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like I mentioned before,
Yes.
these slopes are very
3/4 hours
dynamic,
should be fine.
and the
Just get
sediment
this
can
You're saying.
very readily
Yeah,
be
340 is fine.
remobilized
Yeah,
if
do that.
there are
Go ahead and zoom in,
earthquakes.
Roland.
That
Oh yeah, pretty.
this one has a top.
Okay, so this one's different than the
How many
one
meters
we
is that,
were
Richard?
the ones we were seeing yesterday, right, Chris? Is this another
Towards 340.
Caulophacadae? It doesn't look like it's the
Perfect.
same species that we were. I don't think it's a Caulophacadae though. I'm not sure. This might be
No,
a
it's not
Furonema or
it's not a
Hylanema.
Caulophacadae.
No.
It's not in that group. The Caulophacus are in the suborder or the order Lycestinocida. The Caulophacus have a solid stem. This one has a fibrous stem. So I'm pretty sure this is in the Hyalinnematidae, which is in the similar or closely related to the Pheronematids that have the very fibrous stalk like this. And then I was mentioning yesterday that this whole order, the Amphidiscophora, have got a very unique type of spicule or microscopic structure called an amphidisc. And the best description of it is that it's two umbrellas that are hooked together by their handles so that the umbrellas themselves are on the opposite sides. So that's kind of the way I sort of think about them. They're really beautiful microscopic parts when you see them.
Yeah, and Chris, the way we identify sponges in many cases, at least our first line that we use for the morphological characteristics is to actually look at the spicules, right?
Right, and so if we're wrong about this being a Hyalinnematidae, it'll be immediately obvious when it gets under a microscope, because we won't see those amphidiscs and we'll know for sure that we're full of beans and we need to think of something else.
Do a snap zoom on this star up here as we pass by.
Oh, a star. Chris Ma from the Smithsonian. Maybe
Chris-
calling us
Chris
momentarily.
Okay, so it looks like this one it's using its arms to kind of
Hang on to the sediment.
hang on or burrow in. Yeah.
This is a pretty steep slope they're on right here.
So I was mentioning before about the ossicles, so the skeletal elements in holothurians, or sea cucumbers. In brittle stars, they actually fuse together almost like vertebrae to form these arms. And I learned that, or was reminded of that, by Scott France from University of Louisiana the other day. Scott's been teaching me or reteaching me about some of the things I forgot 40 years ago.
Okay, zoom out.
Something purple on the
Okay,
rock.
looks like another hexactinellid sponge.
How are we looking, co-pilot?
Things are happy.
Okay.
Probably gonna start swinging here in a minute, but
Okay.
I got you at 50.
Got
so.
a big rock outcrop above me.
And is that
Let's
another
do a
scale?
real quick zoom here. And I wanna
Let's see,
get
what is
above
that
that.
next to? Is
Take a
that, no, what is that next to it? Yeah.
Oh, we gotta look at both of
look at
these.
that. That's another,
Go ahead and zoom
looks like it might be
Hold.
yep, another
Which one are you interested
hexactinellid.
in?
Oh, those are so
Both.
Both
Doesn't
of
matter
them,
here.
of course. I want it all.
Perfect.
Yep,
That's
another
okay.
hexactinellid
What a
sponge.
surprise.
Very pretty, very pretty.
Okay, let's
This-
zoom out.
This one's beautiful. You can see in the one on the left-hand side, it has that kind of a tube or an atrium, and so the water that's filtered through the sponge goes in these very small pores, and then goes through the water channels, the canals in the sponge.
Food gets
and they
extracted.
dump out, right? Food gets extracted from
And
that.
then it
Oh,
will blow the water
Right.
out.
Ooh,
These
yeah.
central
are
tube.
really big rocks.
Anemone.
Anemone. Anemone.
anemone.
Anemone.
We are getting close.
Anemone. Anemone.
No.
We're debating how to say anemone.
There's
Some
no
people
debate.
say anemone. You're right. That's right.
And an anemone.
Anemone. Anemone. Anemone.
Yep.
Anemone.
Anemone.
Do that.
Seems like
It's-
somebody should be
Alright.
throwing phenomena in there.
Right,
You
so
just keep saying it.
Yeah. It's not a silent E.
Cool. Thanks, Nav.
Oh, you can't
a
even
cool
see
one.
the stalk
Partial.
or the base. Is that a stalk? or do you call it a
You can
base?
call it well, it's got both. The stalk
see.
is attached
That's true.
to its
Okay.
base.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a tube anemone. It's called a cereanthid.
Thank you, Scott.
Set it up a little bit more. I'll go.
Have we
Boy,
been
this is
have we been
really pretty.
introducing our shore-based team as they
Pilot.
chime
Okay.
in
Some.
and say?
Some.
Those are sonar,
Yes.
we got
So
a
for
hard
those of you who call
Yeah.
in, when you
Meters
call
up.
in the
Okay.
next time,
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
us who
Done
you
that,
are,
right?
where
Yeah.
you're from,
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
so that
affiliation,
you can
please.
Yeah, due to
you
the,
can identify yourself to the roughly
heave, I think we're getting
30,000, 35,000 other people. Well, they're
35,000
not all
people.
tuned in at the same time.
Oh, we
but
wish they were.
we do.
Got about one more minute, not even.
We love to share. Yeah, folks at home, if you are wandering about, you can download.
If you're sitting on the
Yeah,
beach
right?
for early
There's
4th
a-
of July weekend,
There's a smart app you can use to take a look at our video and keep yourself informed.
you can take us with you so that we're always close to you.
And
Yeah,
turn the
lift off.
volume up really
We are
loud
lifting
so
off.
your friends
Okay.
will hear.
Keep-
So
the
less waddling.
Look at the rocks.
All systems
And
are go.
Tina
Yep, watch it.
Molodtsova
We've got
are saying
some
these
hard,
are
steep returns
not
coming up.
cereanthids.
So I think we're close.
So these are not tube-forming anemones. It's just a quote-unquote regular anemone. Okay, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. I don't know if you had this discussion yet by anyone calling in, but when I was on the separate interaction
It's
with
surprising how
our
much sediment there is here.
interns,
Yeah.
Deb told me that the real acanthus
Yeah,
isn't
hasn't
an
gotten blown off
anemone.
or
It's a
anything.
real acanthus. So let's see. Tara, shall I put you on the spot? Tara Harmer-Luke from Stockton University in New Jersey.
forward.
Would you like to tell us the difference between a relicanthus and an anemone?
Good. So that last move ended at what time? Just curious. Cool. Okay.
Whitefish.
Might need to bring it to port, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so stand
There you got a
by.
fish.
Which lines up with
Stand
high
by
pipe.
while Tara may be calling in.
And notice how much sediment, loose sediment, is
This
coating many of these
teeny,
rocks. We are really
Teeny
close
tiny,
to the
look at that
base.
little fish. Those laser
Weird
dots
eyes.
that you're seeing are 10 centimeters or about 4 inches across. Is that a what?
What is that?
I've
Is
never
it a-
seen that before.
I've never
it a-
seen that before.
Is it a baby fish?
We need.
We know it's
I
fish.
think
Is it
we
a
need
baby?
Bruce or Jeff Drazen.
It looks like it. Oh, here we go.
No, this is really interesting. Unfortunately, we're not getting a side view, but there are a couple of possibilities for this. It
Skittish.
probably is not a baby fish, although it could be. It could be a
called the laser
juvenile
strip.
that's newly settling down to the bottom. It's got those large eyes, so it could be a newly settled Ipnops or something like that. But there are a couple of other things down there. There's a relative of the Ipnops and tripod fish called
Coming
Bathymicrops. I don't think this is it. And there's also a family related to the cusk eels, the Aphionidae. They don't have a common
Dust.
name. Some of us that have been looking at fishes and identifying them have been hoping to see something like this. There's even a third
Yeah, it
thing
is.
called Discoverichthys that's a tripod fish relative. This looks like it could be a cusk. Yeah, this looks like a cusk eel relative. It's got
Cusk eel, really?
long fins on the top and the bottom that join up with the tail fin, so there's not a distinct tail with a separate tail fin. My suspicion is that this is one of these Aphionids, and if that's the case, this is the first time a fish in this family has ever been seen alive.
Sorry, buddy.
This is quite a remarkable
First time it's
video.
ever been seen alive.
Really?
The Aphionids are live bearers, like the Bathydas that we've seen a few times on the previous dive.
No eggs.
This is really an unusual sighting. This is just great.
Okay, so maybe we
Thanks,
can spend
Bruce.
as the dust settles, maybe we
wanna
can
look
spend
another look?
yeah, let's
Okay.
since this has never been seen
Oh
alive
boy,
before.
I really kicked it up when I was hauling
Yeah,
in.
but you know what? It's
Okay.
can't help it. It's a heavily sedimented surface.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the sediment settles, if you
it's
can,
gonna
let's
take
see if
a
we.
long time,
well,
surely.
It won't. It's.
no, it seems to be moving pretty quickly.
We'll do our best.
Okay.
Do you see the fish? Oh, there
I
it
do,
is.
yeah.
Up the top screen.
I have confidence that Roland will be able to clean up the image.
I will give it my all, throw in my sediment filters, and
All right.
All right,
Bring
let's
the
zoom
fish
in,
to
partial. Try to stay
So
off
that
the
fish looked like it had
settling out
the
nicely.
reflective
Great.
large
Thank you for
eye
that.
plaques on the side of the head,
How's
but
sonar
again, we
look?
didn't really see a clearly defined
Definitely
pupil.
should
So it's
explore, I
another
think,
example
and
of a
turn
fish that has
You want to line up?
eyes that are
Yeah.
present but reduced,
reach.
sensing bioluminescence but not picking up images. And see, it's a translucent white species, no pigment. I can see the long gut on this. Now, I am sure that this is an Okeanos, and I am sure that this is the first time that one of these fish has been filmed in situ at depth alive. So
this will
this
go
is
viral.
a really good find.
You just need to say something incredible about it, right?
First time it's been seen alive. Pretty cool.
And those two white dots on the surface, are they? Wow, look at those eyes. Oh, my God. What do you know about the eyes
those
of
are the
this?
highly reduced modified eyes.
Wow.
So the eyes, the eyes are reduced, modified. Again, like a lot of these fish aren't image forming, but
pulling out
I'm
sludge.
just really pleased to see this. Some of us working with the fish have had put little wish lists, sort of bucket lists for what we might want to see on these dives, and a fish in this family was probably first on those lists for a lot of us.
Wow.
This is just remarkable. There are a number of species
Those
in
coming
this
from the right.
family. A lot of them are only known from single
so.
specimens collected
that'll go
with
downhill.
deep sea trawling or dredges. They're very fragile, very difficult to collect. Some of them are known just from, again, one or two specimens, only one or two localities. Some seem to have worldwide distributions
Going
in the
tight to the
deep
head.
ocean. There has been a big debate
If you
about
would sit
whether
still.
these are
he
pelagic,
can sit
living up
still.
in the water
That's what I'm
column,
talking
about. Okay.
or
If he
whether
would
they're
sit still.
associated with the bottom, living like this one is, near the bottom. So not only do you have the first sighting, but you've got some of the first evidence
I guess
to
eating a little bit.
not necessarily solve that debate, but make a strong argument that yes, the family is a bottom living family.
And Bruce, if you already said this, I apologize. But is this an adult? Is this fully grown?
Yes, it's probably an adult.
Really?
I haven't been watching to see where the lasers are, so I haven't.
Yeah, I think it's about 10.
that's-
It's about 10. It was about 10 centimeters.
Yeah, maybe like 11 or 12.
Yeah,
but-
maybe 11 or 12 centimeters.
Yeah. Zoom in. Tighter. Tight.
Maxim.
Yeah, so I think this would be an adult. I'll try to do some quick research and come up
There we
with
go.
some
Job done.
ideas of how large these things get. But this is a family that's considered pedomorphic, which means that it retains some larval characters, some characters from early development on into maturation and adulthood. Things that include small size, poor development of the bones, the translucent body. So there tend to be small fishes. They don't develop the darker pigment that we see in a lot of the cusk eels. And this pedomorphosis is a characteristic of a number of groups of deep-sea fish, including the mesopelagic thistlemouth, the cyclothone species. So this, boy, there are going to be a lot of people, I think, in the fish community that are going to be excited about this. And I wish I had a video clip to show it at this conference I'm going to next week for the American Society of Ichthyologists. This is just a lot of fun to see.
Well, Bruce, there'll probably be a video
You could
clip.
have a video clip of that conference, Bruce.
Yeah, you probably will have one. It'll
Zoom in,
probably be on
Roland.
the Okeanos, on the Ocean Explorer website, probably within a day. So it's likely that you will have that. So yeah, if I were an ichthyologist, Bruce, this would probably be at the top of my bucket list of what I would have liked to have seen on these dives too. That is way cool. In fact, it probably has now made the list of some of the weirdest and most unusual things I've ever seen diving too. Wow, very cool.
Yeah, and for a popular thing previously in the Hawaiian Islands, you had Casper the octopus. This might qualify as Casper the fish.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time, and this is obviously something extremely weird that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Our ROV crew is really excited too.
This is absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm losing it. Sorry.
Okay, that's good. That is really awesome. Really, really awesome. Thank you so much. High five, guys.
Cool.
Let's go in one more time.
Yeah, we work together as a really close team out here. We're all explorers out here, not just the scientists.
Focus.
All of us are explorers out here.
No, let him go into the darkness. There we go. Oh, he's hiding out. Ah, okay, let's come out.
I'm lined up on 325.
A lot of times our videographers or ROV crew, yeah, they're high-fiving. They are high-fiving themselves. Yeah, very cool.
Rolling.
High five.
Nice job.
High five.
Air five, pass it on.
Really, really nice. And thank you so much, Bruce, for telling us all about this very weird and unusual fish that has never before been seen alive. Very, very exciting. And ROV crew, have you, since you changed watch, have you introduced yourselves?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay,
we did.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those close-ups are brought to you by pilot
yes,
Dan Rogers.
Dan, right. They're brought to you by, by Dan and Roland, very ably assisted by Levi and Richard. Oh, wait, and Tara in the back
of course, Tara's
is making sure,
these clips.
right, is making sure that Bruce is going to be able to see them at the Ocean Explorer website very soon. Oh, and our interns at the Harbor Branch Exploration Command Center think that the fish looks like the dragon from the Never-Ending Story.
Another amazing discovery brought to you by the NOAA Office of Exploration and Research and the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration.
Indeed. And Bruce Mundy from NOAA Fisheries, Pacific Island Fishery Research Center, I believe that's what it's called. And he's joining us from the Inouye Research Center Exploration Command Center.
I think ready for a 20 meter? I mean, it's pretty steep here, but...
Yeah, we can do 20 meters. Let's call it in.
325.
So we have a question by a visitor here at the IRC. They're curious. They're looking at the quad screen and seeing the sonar
meters.
images, and they were wondering what the frequency is of the sonar on the ROVs.
Okay, I will check on that. I will ask that question.
He's calling in a move watch lead. I'll get back to you. How often? Oh, I mean every, 5 seconds or so it's updating.
Okay, the answer to that question is it's updating every 5 seconds.
Update, okay. Not the sonar frequency, but the updating frequency, yeah.
The updating frequency they want to know the sonar frequency?
I think they meant what kilohertz.
Oh, okay, sonar frequency. What's kilohertz?
We're on 385 kilohertz on D2.
385.
725 on Sirius.
385 kilohertz on D2 and 725 on Sirius.
I think I see evidence.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here. Take a look at that. And how's our pace, Nav? Do you want to kind of calculate our average pace? We need to keep up. Make sure we're still on track. Go ahead and zoom in.
Oh, okay, so another carnivorous sponge, another collateralized. This looks similar to that other very long one that we saw down a little bit deeper.
Go ahead and zoom in.
Closer to the base, there's a
Tara Harmer-Luke, who has a young daughter, told us that Falcor is the name of the dragon from Neverending Story.
partial.
Yeah. I can move around here. Hold on. Do you want to get a closer look at this, or are you happy, watch lead?
I'm happy with it, thanks.
Okay, let's move on.
Got a little bit of time.
Great.
Got you at 29.
Okay, I'll just survey along the wall here. Just closer in the center of your view.
Changed my screen.
Yeah, currents blow me a little bit to port.
I see. Oh, I see that, yeah.
325 is the magic number.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's okay if you're a little bit off center.
Okay.
We are at 2,492 meters. We're making our way up this very steep slope. A lot of sediment on the surface.
I'm probably pulling you. I can come back.
Okay.
Come down. Yeah, we're getting there though.
Nav, when was that move called in?
By the way, the Falcor is also the name of the research vessel that's operated by this Schmidt Ocean Institute. And when we pull back into port in Guam in a little over a week's time, the Falcor will be in port there. So we're going to have exchange visits while we're in port. Looking forward to that.
Can we even brighten up that slope? Let's see.
Okay, so those of you who are watching from home, anyone who's watching, take a look at the screen, the view from the Sirius, and you can look down on the Deep Discoverer ROV and see that steep slope that we are working our way up.
Okay.
We should get. Yeah.
We'll keep it.
Richard, are you saying keep moving?
Well, we're going to go as fast as we can.
Yeah, I know. No, that's
take
fine.
Our time on the slope here.
Yeah, that's fine. Especially if there's a right. Yeah, at about 4 o'clock.
Yep, we'll hit it. Or just let me know when I need to go, co-pilot.
Copy that. We're happy.
Did I hear we wanted to grab a rock at the base of the cliff? Is that still on the?
You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyone on shore recall? Did Patty say she wanted to grab a rock? Do we need a rock sample from the bottom of the slope?
I think I heard someone say
Bob, and I would say yes.
Okay, Bob. Yeah.
Hold on.
Pilot, yes.
Okay. So after this, once you start feeling that move, I'll push out, sit down, and set for that.
See if we can find a candidate.
Yeah. Go ahead and zoom in. Another bamboo coral.
Yep, another bamboo coral.
Let me know if you want lasers.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and get them on? Thank you, co-pilot.
Lasers on.
And zoom in tighter.
Okay, Bob, does it matter that the rock wouldn't be in place? Yeah. Is that an issue?
Zoom out. I think it's the same one we saw earlier.
No, I think whatever's easy to pick up is going to be fine. These look like good hard
We're definitely moving now.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Right.
Yeah, should be either now or in the next minute.
Okay, so we'll look for a loose rock. Any color or composition in particular?
Bob, anything in particular, or just any loose rock is fine?
Yeah, whatever, good sized rock. I saw one in the upper right, but I'm not sure how many seconds my
Okay, thank you.
is delayed. Right now I'm looking at a bamboo, but just to the right it looks like there was a nice rock.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so you're a little bit delayed in your video, so we're past that bamboo coral, but we'll look for a nice sized loose rock.
Oh boy.
think we called the move in at 325.
Okay. Want to take a look at this? Ooh.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Here. Why don't you zoom in on the stock
Oh,
real
wow.
quick?
Okay.
Something closed up. Bubble gum? Go ahead and zoom in.
So this, to me, looks like it might just be a bamboo coral with its polyps retracted.
Okay.
But
get this this guy here.
Up in the look at that. Okay. Scott, have you finished exercising on the elliptical? You want to talk to us a little bit about this?
Go ahead and zoom in.
Tara Harmerluke, I know you're on the phone too, so if Scott doesn't chime in and you'd like to, that would be great.
I jumped off, Shirley.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
So we are looking at, we're looking at an octocoral, and this one's interesting because it doesn't have that internal skeleton that all of the sea fans do. This is in a genus called Anthomastus, and you can see the very nice polyps, beautiful pinnate tentacles surrounding the mouth. And those lines that you see going down the length of the polyp, those are the mesenteries, which are basically folds of the stomach that subdivide the stomach into 8 chambers, basically. And those polyps can retract into that thicker tissue that you see at the base. And the base is, you can sort of think of it as a fist with the wrist cut off, and the wrist would be what's attached to the substrate. So when the polyps are retracted, you would sort of see that fist and wrist. So these have sclerites. The sclerites are in that fist-shaped structure, but they don't have an axial skeleton. Instead, you can kind of think of it like concrete. The sclerites are kind of glued together with tissue and form that sort of a structure. So this is Anthomastus.
So, Scott, there are some things that look like they're attached to the mouth and other parts of the polyps. That's not natural, is it? I think there's some other organisms that's growing on these things.
Maxine?
Yeah, I can't get quite a good enough look, Chris. It's certainly possible. It looks like there's maybe a little worm there. Is that possibly a polychaete? I'm not certain. Also, I think these Anthomastus have dimorphic polyps. That means they have 2 kinds of polyps, and in this case, you're looking at what are called autozoids, so the more typical feeding polyps. But they also have siphonozoids, and these are very, very small and reduced. They're basically those little bumps or pimples that you see on the surface down there. And those can funnel water in through the colony, and they may also, in some of these octocorals that have siphonozoids, be specialized for the gonads, so that's where the eggs would be produced and held for some period of time.
Okay, zoom in. Where is this full zoom?
Max zoom.
Okay. Sorry, if I get any closer to it, I think we're going to lose the decent lighting. This is already pushing it. Okay, let's come out. You can get full specimen.
Yeah, I still can't quite make out what that white thing is. Shirley, do you have a better view of that?
There's one at the bottom.
Yeah, Scott, I can't tell either. Yeah, we wanted to look at the. Oh, there are a few of them.
Yeah, they don't look like polychaetes. I wonder if there's some kind of flatworm.
Yeah, I can't tell.
It's moving,
yeah, it is moving. I don't know. How about the one on that? There was one on an upper. Yeah, that one. The one all the way at the top. I wonder if you can get. Jeez.
You can try to zoom out. I can get a little bit closer.
That almost looks like a sipunculate, but I doubt if it would be that.
These are light. Try it.
Maybe on the upper right-hand side.
Well, if you think maybe it's an aplacophorine. I haven't seen them ever on Anthomastus before, but aplacophorines are worm-like mollusks that are well-known predators of corals.
Oh, wow.
But I've never seen them on an Atlas before.
Okay, let's go in.
Okay, there we got a little bit closer.
It's
Boy.
two straight
It's
down.
on the other side, yeah. Let's tilt down to the other one.
Huh.
The one on the right is crawling.
Oh, yeah, you can see the one on the right crawling. Nolan, do you know?
You can see the white one on the right is very slowly moving down the length of the polyp, so it looks like some kind of a worm.
It does.
I think these are ribbon worms, Rhynchocela. That's my gut feeling right now.
Okay.
Oh, you've had to come off course to keep me in view.
You copy that.
And
Okay.
now, since we've got
We're settling out, right?
Yep.
since we have such a tight view, let's look at one that actually is coming out of the central mouth up top.
Hi, this is Nolan from Harbor Branch. Is that worm that you mentioned, is that a turbularian by any chance?
I don't know. Scott, what do you think?
That was one of the possibilities that we threw out, the turbularia, the flatworms, so that's certainly possible.
For another one.
But they're so elongated, and I thought I saw on one of them, it looked
good.
like there was a zigzagging structure inside, which is something you often see in Nemerdians, the ribbon worms, where they have a very elongated proboscis that they can shoot out through an opening at the front of the head that they use to capture prey. So I'm leaning towards Nemerdian right now. It's also called Rhynchocela or ribbon worm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, are we happy with that watch leader? I can try to get a little better view, but do you want to move on?
Yes. You're muted.
Okay. Shirley, you ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so just come to port a little bit.
Okay. Got it. And we were at 325, right?
Yep.
That's what we were looking at. Okay. Not seeing too many rocks that look very loose. Yes, I imagine a lot of the loose ones probably have already fell down slope. Here.
Yeah, pilot, I don't think we want to sample here. These rocks are all talus that have fallen off the wall. Once we get to the wall, we'll get to outcrops that show us rocks in place, and we can pick up a sample close to perhaps where they may have fallen from, but we'll never be able to tell where any of these rocks came from on this 646 meter tall wall.
Okay. How far are you from the wall? 20 meters. Okay, that's comfortable.
Yeah. I can see 40 meters.
Yeah, we're in really good position right now.
Yeah. I got you at 33.
In the serious view, folks, on the quad screen view, we're looking at sonar from the Sirius vehicle,
Thinking about a
and
move,
it
or?
looks like there is quite a steep face in front of us, not too far away now. Really hard returns from sonar, unless, of course, it's more rocks in the talus pile.
As you can see,
330 looks good to me.
330?
Something like that. Yeah.
You're at 330, 350. Coming over. Might put us at a little bit of an angle. Yeah, let's
Oh, yeah, more talus.
3,
A lot of these rocks are
3,
dust
5,
through the
0.
sediment, too.
Good. Coming
And,
up.
let's go ahead and do
So
like
they've
10
been
meters,
sitting
3,
here
5, 0.
quite a while.
Yep.
Just to let folks know, there has been drilling out here at about this distance from the island arc that went through more than 600 meters of a variety of different sediments. And this was with the Joydes Resolution drilling ship in on DSTP leg 60. This was in the early 80s. And most of the forearc where we are right now, the area between the trench and the volcanic arc, so we are about 120 or so kilometers west of the Mariana Trench axis. And so much of the volcaniclastic material spewed out by the volcanoes of the arc has landed in this sort of vicinity close to the island arc itself, and has created a very, very thick pile of sediments.
Patty, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
To me, these rocks have the massive appearance of igneous rocks. They're very fractured, for sure, but to me they look igneous.
They may well be. If there are dikes, perhaps, that are exposed in the shallower parts of the sedimentary sequences, yeah, we sure could get igneous rocks.
Yeah, it's just manganese.
Looks like they're going for
Zoom out.
nope, maybe not.
Just checking it out.
Thought there was
We're about to do a shift
critter.
change, so.
Okay, the pilots are coming into the control room here after having had their lunch. So we're getting a change of pilots and navigator. And we'll introduce them as soon as they get settled.
Something white, glow lasers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something attached to one of the rocks right below the lasers, sort of to the left of them.
Okay, go ahead and zoom in. Urchin.
Ooh. I think I know what that is, but I'm going to let the people on shore,
Right, let's
the
come out.
biologists, tell us what that may have been.
Let's co-pilot. We just did a short move out toward D2. Put it in a few minutes ago, so you'll probably start feeling it.
Anybody want to take a guess?
It's about a 5 to 7 minute delay or so.
You're a little over 20 meters, it looks like, but I'm not getting a real good sonar view yet. Well, I guess I got the echo.
We're perfectly safe
Shirley
right now.
Shirley has left to go eat,
right now
but I think she would be excited by this
making sure we don't
particular
stall
critter.
here too much. Here comes Carl.
Hey, Nav, can I go ahead and get a zoom
pilot,
in?
are we going to zoom on this?
Yeah, we will. I'm going to let my next pilot.
All right. Next pilot is coming on. They are exchanging information, so we'll take a zoom and look at this animal as soon as they get themselves settled.
How far we got to our, is COG off?
So as they're doing that, let me explain where we are and what we're doing. We're on the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer, and this is America's ship for ocean exploration. And we're coming to you live from the Mariana Trench National Marine Monument, and we are about 75 kilometers to the east of the active volcanoes of the Mariana system. Expeditions like the one we're on here, this is the 2016 deep water exploration of the Marianas. It's only possible through partnerships and collaborations. This mission is designed and supported by NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research. The ship itself is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine Aviation Operations. This expedition that we're on is part of a 3-year mission, a campaign to address the Pacific Monument Science, Technology,
the ship is
and
moving
Ocean
10
needs.
meters.
Its nickname is Capstone. And it was designed to address a fundamental need for
What's
resource
this
managers,
delay here?
such as those who manage
3 to 5 minutes?
the Mariana Trench National Marine Monument.
I was off.
And in
3 to
hopes
5.
to better understand, the deepest
I guess
parts
3 is too short.
of the
I should have said
monuments,
5.
looking at both the animals and